Team Jackson, what's happening? So I was just looking through the comments, man, of a previous video I did like a week or two ago that was called Proof That You're Being Taken for Granted. And a lot of the comments were really asking, okay, cool, now we got the proof. How do we stop this from happening? So this is what I say to anybody with that question. How do you stop from being taken for granted? First off, tell me something or think it to yourself. What is the difference between diamonds and water? In terms of value, what is the difference? Like what's more valuable, diamonds or water? Now, if you're thinking diamonds, this probably ain't the video for you. Of course, it's water. Water is how we live. We need water to live. We need water to grow plants and trees and vegetables and produce and all that good stuff. But what do you know about the difference between the way that diamonds and water are treated? Well, water, people waste. People leave the bath water run in, people swim in it, people wash out their shoes with it, don't give a damn about it. But ain't nobody wasting diamonds. You gotta pay top dollar. It's, behind the case, the glass case and all that stuff. So it's safe to say that the way people treat a thing isn't always correlative to its actual value, but sometimes to its availability. Same thing goes when it comes to dating and relationships. So whenever you're in a situation and you feel like, you know what, somebody's treating you as less valuable, aka being taken for granted, less valuable than what you actually are, the problem is they correlate their treatment to the availability, which means for you to fix that situation or give it an opportunity to be fixed, you have to decrease the availability. You have to take some away. Now, before we get left about pettiness and spitefulness and all that kind of stuff, there's a difference in how you handle this when you're in a relationship versus whenever you are just dating. When you're in a relationship, it's going to happen naturally. When you love a person and you do for that person and the appreciation is not being shown or it's not being reciprocated what you're doing, naturally, your heart is going to feel its cup starting to get empty and it's going to slow down, just like a car. The car starts running low on gas. What happens? It starts sputtering. It don't get off like it used to. And eventually it'll just stop. The difference between it being petty versus being natural in a relationship is that you're supposed to supplement with communication to that person about why you're starting to pull back, about why you're starting to draw up. So what this looks like is, say you don't want to cook anymore for your guy, right? You don't feel the appreciation. It looks like communicating to him, this is why I don't want to cook for you. I'm not as encouraged by the way I tell you that I'm cooking and then you come home with food from some woman at work. Or you come home and you eat, but you got insults and jokes about my food or you play over it and stuff like that. It makes me not even want to cook for you anymore. In that, you're giving him an opportunity. And if there's a sincere apology and commitment to do better going forward, then you let him operate off credit while going back to putting out how you did to see if he'll actually show the appreciation that you need. That's the difference. The problem is in relationships, people go to one extreme or the other. They either say, you know what, I'm just going to fall back. I'm going to stop doing this, stop doing that. And I ain't going to say nothing. And what that does is that sets the tone for petty, revengeful exchanges within a relationship. Or the other side of that extreme is that they say, you know what, I'm going to go so hard. I'm going to go even harder. I'm going to try to increase my value to the situation, which is essentially like, the diamonds that are, supposed to be valuable or treated like they're valuable just being wasted on the floor. And you're going to give them more diamonds to keep dropping on the floor. That's not the answer either. Now, whenever you are dating, that's completely different because they haven't earned all of that effort to explain anything. They haven't earned the credit that you're going to operate off of. What I think that everybody should do when it comes to dating is go into a probation period. Person's taking your time for granted. They want to cancel last minute. They got excuses why they always late and y'all still dating. It's time to go straight into a probationary period where they get less of that. You don't say shit. You don't communicate anything because they haven't earned that yet. And in that time, they may or may not do what it takes to keep you interested. And if not, so well. They messed it up. They had their opportunity. Now, in either situation, this is just a fix for now, for that moment, in terms of decreasing availability, of course, in a relationship, supplementing with communication, or just a probationary period whenever you're dating. The best thing to do is set the tone out the gate for you don't take me for granted. This is why that is. We're going to have these types of conversations. This is how I roll. This is what I'm going to need for you on a day-to-day. Or even in a relationship, if it's already happened where you notice that your partner is taking you for granted afterwards, saying, you know what, let's install this relationship membrane, as I call it anyway. Let's do this. Let's do that. Actually, I go in detail about this part of the process in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown, which again, I've extended that sale through the end of the month, 50% off at the link in the caption. But moral of the story is this. Contrary to popular belief, you have no obligation as a measurement of your commitment to extend or increase the amount of you that gets taken for granted, whether by the time you spend with the person that's taking you for granted or by how much you're giving to the situation in which you're taken for granted. So y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. And again, don't forget your crown is 50% off at the link in the caption through the end of the month. I'll let y'all later. Peace.